Before I begin reading the scripture for today, which will be taken from John chapter 1, verses 19 to 28, I'd just like to read the introduction that's written in this NIV 1998 edition that clarifies the difference for those who are unfamiliar. This is the Gospel of John, which is written by the disciple John, that is one of the 12 disciples of Jesus Christ. And in chapter 1, he speaks of John, who is actually the cousin of Jesus, also known as John the Baptist. So for those who are unfamiliar, that is the reference being made there when he speaks of John in chapter 1 of the Gospel of John. John is also the writer of the book of Revelation. The Gospel, by the way, means good news, and the introduction now starts and says, the fourth Gospel was also written by one of Jesus's 12 disciples, John, quote, the disciple whom Jesus loved, end of quote. John wrote this gospel sometime between AD 90 to 100 so that, quote, you may believe that Jesus is the Christ, the Son of God, and that by believing you may have life in his name. And that's a quote from John 20, verse 31. Although the book of John gives a general outline of the life and work of Jesus Christ, it is very different from the other three Gospels. John reports 5 miracles that are not reported by the other Gospels. Only 2 of the miracles reported in the other Gospels are reported in John. This book contains no parables and seems to stress Jesus' relationships with individuals. The purpose of this gospel is to report the signs, usually called miracles in other gospels. The signs that John reports give proof that Christ is God and has supernatural powers. Although John gives much attention to proving that Jesus is the Son of God, he also shows that Jesus was very much a human by showing that he was tired, sad, hungry, and loving. So I will go now to the reading of the day. John the Baptist denies being the Christ. Now this was John's testimony when the Jews of Jerusalem sent priests and Levites to ask him who he was. He did not fail to confess, but confessed freely, I am not the Christ. They asked him, then who are you? Are you Elijah? He said, I am not. Are you the prophet? He answered, no. Finally, they said, who are you? Give us an answer to take to those who sent us. What do you say about yourself? John replied in the words of Isaiah the prophet, I am the voice of one calling in the desert. Make straight the way for the Lord. Now some Pharisees who had been sent questioned him, why then do you baptize if you are not the Christ, nor Elijah, nor the prophet? I baptize with water, John replied, but among you stands one you do not know. He is the one who comes after me, the thongs of whose sandals I am not worthy to untie. This all happened at Bethany on the other side of the Jordan, where John was baptizing. Thanks for joining, and I invite you to like, share, and subscribe, and to join me again tomorrow for another reading.